Howdy, I'm Jace. I have sex addiction and I work with a bunch of other people who do too. Now, if you are in a consensual agreement, can you use your partner for reacting out? It is a very uncomfortable topic for many people and exactly what we're going to be talking about in today's video. Make sure to subscribe so you never miss these videos. You can hit the little bell so you get alerted each time a new one is released. And you can always get more resources, not just at the end of the video where a free one's coming up, but on my website, jacedowney.com. Oh, this is a topic that weirds people out. Oftentimes I'll hear from folks who are in a committed relationship, whatever that looks like for them, and they think because it's their partner, it's not reacting out. And that's not always the case. Now, we know that sex addiction doesn't actually have a whole lot to do with sex or enjoying sex or wanting sex. Now, if that just threw your mind for a loop, go watch the video on sex addiction has nothing to do with sex, and we'll talk about it more there. But assuming you've watched that video and you're on board, we know that with sex addiction, we are using these behaviors in order to alter our experience. We'll just say that. In sex addiction, we aren't having sex, we're using sex and or all things under the sexual umbrella, whether that's watching pornography, sext messaging, having fantasy, voyeurism, exhibitionism, whatever. If you want more info on all of the different ways that sex addiction shows up, you can take my course, Introduction to Sex Addiction, which you'll find the link for below. But we know there's a broad spectrum, and the thing that they all have in common is the engagement with the reward system in the brain and body as a way to alter our experience, usually an uncomfortable, painful experience. And you can learn more about that in the course as well. And then, of course, these videos, we talk about the brain and body component of addiction. So that being said, there's a big difference between feeling discomfort because of stress and anxiety and utilizing your partner to alter that feeling, basically using your partner as a way to masturbate with another person in order to alter your state, and connecting in a very present, very consensual manner with your partner that includes the sacred engagement of sexual behavior, whatever that means to each person and each couple or throuple or whatever you happen to be in. So I can give an example from my own life. I've been a partner of a person with sex addiction as well, actually multiple. And when we were first together and he was earlier on in his recovery, I started noticing a very different feeling when he would approach me for sexual interaction at different times. And I realized that because masturbation was in his circle for abstaining, he thought, and this wasn't going on consciously, mind you, but he thought he found a loophole by having sex with his partner, like that made it healthy. Only he wasn't having sex with me. He wasn't actually there with me at all. He was basically using me to get to the same results, the numbing out, the changing from the anxiety feeling and all of that, without breaking his sobriety. Yeah, that doesn't feel great, by the way. And I did that a ton as a person with addiction. So I have been on both sides, and both of them actually feel terrible. But the answer is yes. Absolutely, we can use our partners as our reacting out method. And just because it is someone who has agreed to have a sexual relationship with you doesn't mean it's not addiction. It doesn't mean it's not reacting out behavior. And the easiest way that I came to understand this myself is, am I having sex or am I using sex? And if you have any kind of recovery around sex addiction and you have any awareness around your behaviors, that probably makes sense to you right away. If not, go take the intro course to sex addiction so you can get on the same page, or check out the videos on here too, or you could go to my site where there's tons of resources around this stuff. So if you are using your partner in the same way you used other reacting out behaviors, that it can still be in the addiction space. There is no loophole because another person is in the mix. And it's also worth investigating if it's in your agreement with that person to use them, and if it's in your integrity as well. Now, if I was with a partner and they were fantasizing in their head, maybe about a pornography scene they had watched, or maybe another person or whatever it was, and they're there in their mind, but they are in my body, no, thank you, hard pass. That feels terrible and would be completely outside of what I'm okay with. To each their own. Honest to goodness, it's not necessarily a bad thing. It just would not be in alignment with me. So that's a conversation to have with your partner as well. And that might be a weird one, but it's important to make sure that you're in alignment with your agreements. Some people think, oh, everybody fantasizes while having sex. Well, that's not true. And also, is it okay with your partner for their body to just be used as a way for you to get off or feel pleasure or whatever? And some people are. And there are different scenarios where that works for some people, but you just want to make sure that everybody's on the same page so that it's consensual. Just because that person has consented to having sex with you doesn't mean they've consented to being a vessel for your reacting out while you're engaged in other thoughts in your head or anything like that, right? So you got to put everything on the table if you want to make sure that you are committed to the same thing. So the short answer is yes, you can absolutely use your consensual partner for reacting out. That's not a loophole. If you're using that as a loophole, like I used to or my partners have, it's not. And there maybe just needs to be some shifting or a new foundation laid so that you can make sure you're in holistic health and that you're honoring your agreements, that you're honoring the other people in your life. I know if you're on this channel, it matters to you to be a healthy person. It matters to you to be in your integrity and be showing up in respectful ways. And this is a kind of a sticky area that freaks some people out, but is a really important one. So make sure to check out that course if you have not yet, and you'll have to be in mindfulness to grow your awareness of how you're showing up with your partner or partners to ensure that you're not using it as a new way to react out and then excusing it just because it is your partner. I hope that answers that question and sheds some light on that subject. Until I see you next time, stay curious. Hello again. I am super psyched to get this resource to you for free. I have taken one of my all-time favorite workshops to give in person and condensed it down to a short online little mini course that you can take at your own convenience right now to learn how to go from powerless to empowered, not just with regard to addiction, but your whole life. It is free. It is available now on my website. Just click the link below to get instant access to that at no cost to you. I'll see you over there.